Now, one thing you're kind of known for is your situation with Jin back in the
Right.
day. Well, you ended up doing some time over this. How
Yeah.
long were you locked up for this?
10 years. I was 10 and a half. I was sentenced to 11. I did 10 and a half, something like that.
And what was it like for you in prison?
It was, I mean, it was fucked up, but it wasn't like, by that time I was already seasoned. Like, I already knew how to jail. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, remember, I was in the system every fucking year. I wasn't free for more than a year since I was 10 years old or something like that, or 8 years old, whatever the fuck I was. You know what I'm saying? So I was already seasoned. Like, it was like I already like knew I was gonna do all this time. Like I was already in my head that I was eventually gonna go to prison. You know what I mean? Like, so I went in there. It was definitely different. You know what I mean? But it wasn't too crazy. Like, cause when I first got arrested, I got arrested. I got caught in I got caught in like going on the border of Canada from Washington to Canada, and my case was all over the news. It was on magazines. It was like in the Blender. It was in like fucking like the source or some shit. Like I went on all the magazines, and it was covering my case and shit. So, when I got arrested, they was, cause I already had 2 prior violence, they was saying that they was giving me life. So once I found out I was getting life, like they told me I was getting life, I was just, I didn't give a fuck. So I kept on fighting every day. I was fighting. I was like, I got stabbed, cut. I was stabbing. I was cutting, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And then because I thought that I was gonna get life, so I really didn't care. You know what I'm saying? And I was fighting over the phone. Like, people say I can't get on the phone, I make them eat that bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because when I was there, like, they changed the phone to like the ones that you can't take off. But at that time, it was like phones that you had the wire that you could just take off. So like, I'll be talking on the phone. If somebody come up to me and say, "Oh, you got to get off the phone," I just pull a wire out and I just put that fucking phone in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? And then phone pieces flying all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, I just was fighting all the time. You know what I'm saying? But then once I got my 10 years, I was like, once I got into prison, I was like, all right. At first, when they gave me the 10, I was like, fuck, bro. Like, my life is over. Like, motherfucker gonna be 30 when they come home, like 30 something. Like, damn, bro. Like, I thought it was gonna be the over, right? But once I got into prison and shit, and then I started walking around, this person got 20 in, 10 more to go. This person got 13 in, 5 more to go. Like, it was just, and it was, my 10 seemed like small compared to everybody else's shit. So little by little, I was just like, all right, it ain't the end. So I just, was doing my program and just getting, you know what I'm saying, getting my just getting my program in and change, like, just slowly changing my thought pattern and shit. So, cause I ain't want to die in there. You know what I mean? I seen old motherfucker come in 60, 70 years old. You got a brand new number, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you just did 10 years coming back in, and you all old, and he's like feeling at home, like, oh, let me get this, or bring me this, and bring that. I'm just looking at this guy like, man, that's not gonna be me. I'm not dying in here. Fuck that. So yeah, that's when that's basically when I made my choice. Like, I gotta change I gotta change my direction.
You mentioned getting cut and having a lot of fights and kind of going through some drama and everything. What do you think was like the worst time that you got cut when you were in there?
The worst time, I mean, I went gun for gun with somebody. That means like he had a knife, I had a knife. You know what I mean? Well, he had a knife, I had a razor, And, we stood right there. He's trying to stab me. I'm cutting him. He stabs me. I cut him. And we just fucking just stabbing and cutting each other.
Damn, how many times did you get cut or stabbed?
I got stabbed 2 times on my neck and then like once on my chest.
So he was trying to kill you then, going for your neck like
Yeah.
that. And how did it eventually break up?
So what happened was I was in the house, right? And I was on the phone and this dude was like, he basically was trying to tell me to get off the phone. So I turned around and I'm like, you gotta wait until I get off the phone. So, but I gave him my back and I was just facing this way. So he ain't like that. So he go and get his razor, and then I'm talking on the phone and he come behind me and cuts me. You know what I'm saying? So when he cuts me, but instead of me going this way, I just move this way with it. So he don't really cut me that much, but you can still see it and shit. So, but then I get off the phone and then I start scrapping with him. Bing, bang, boom, boom, boom. He dropped the motherfucking razor and I'm punching him all in his shit. Bing, bang. He wasn't expecting that. I don't know what the fuck he expected. He thought I was just gonna take that, but so I just started rocking his shit. Boom, 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 boom. He dropped the razor. I go for the razor and shit, but everybody pulling me off and everybody doing that shit. He was cool with the police, the cop, you know what I'm saying? So the cop locks me in the cell. He comes over like, yo, what's up? You got to go to the doctor. You got to go to the infirmary. So I had a little cut on my face, but it wasn't like, but I didn't need stitches. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't need nothing. So he just gives me a fucking, just puts some shit on my shit and he moves me next door. He didn't even report the shit. You know what I'm saying? So he just moved me next door. So, I wait for him when we go to law library, since I'm next door, you know what I mean? Like 2 days later, I wait for him to go to law library. When he come out, he got a knife on him, you know what I mean? But his knife wasn't sharp. He had a big ass he pulled out some rusty shit, but it wasn't sharp, you know what I mean? I had a razor. So we just started going, I cut the shit out of him. But he tried to hit me first. I block it. I cut him. Wop. Come here, stupid. Cut his shit. Boom. And then he, instead of like securing his arm, he fucking, I leave his arm. I'm just worried about cutting him and shit. And I'm hitting him with that shit. And then he just stabs me in my neck 2 times. But if the shit was sharp, he would have put the shit through my neck. You know what I mean? But it wasn't. So.
Did you guys ever get caught or anything for that? Did you have to go get stitches or?
Yeah, I mean, I had to get something, but because my shit was all bloody, but Rikers Island is notoriously like, just corrupt. You feel me? So he was cool with the police and shit. So they just was like, no paperwork was done. I wasn't pressing I wasn't saying nothing. So they just pushed me somewhere else. You know what I mean?
What's up? This is Cam Capone. We got more content like this coming soon. So hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in to Cam Capone News.